I want to know straight up. I want to welcome you first to another episode, another webcast, so to speak, to put it lightly in the likes. But a question before we spawn off into the bulk or the breadth of the conversation. I want to ask you a question. I want you to leave a comment. Let me know. Have you ever bought a bottle of wine from a gas station? Oh my gosh, is that a crazy question, or is that a random question, or is that a good question? That's the question. Like, I'm curious about. It's a bit of a survey in the likes. Um, if you've ever bought a bottle of wine from a gas station, oh my gosh, and this is not. This is more so. The selection that's available. Some gas stations may be limited solely to something like MD 2020, and that's not something I advise you drink. The truth be told, I think we've all been younger, in the likes, and what it amounts to is just that. As young lads, you might drink a 40 ounce. Oh my gosh, a 40 ounce is like 40 ounces of malt liquor, and it literally I don't know how much they cost, but I think they're like back in the day they were like $3 or something. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, it was a bargain deal. It was like $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or something like that. And that's what young people like sometimes would dabble with when they're experimenting and the likes. And just to say the least, at this point in the game, I try to stay away from anything that's, I don't think something being cheap is a bad thing. But at the same token, something being cheap can be a bad thing. Like it can, it can be too cheap for your own good. As in, I'm never gonna complain about getting discounts and the likes. Getting um purchase discounts, coupons, or whatever. Whatever is appointed is more than gracious, more than good. And complimentary stuff. And the likes. But at the same token, what it amounts to is just that, and that is sometimes cheap stuff is not the good stuff. I try to stay away from anything that's too cheap. Like 40 ounces, like I mean, you got to stay away from that sort of stuff. And what else is there to mention? It's the same emphasis as in fast food and the likes. It can be very very good. I'm sure 40 ounces can be very very good, but at the same token, just as is fast food. Um, sometimes too much of anything is a bad thing. So let's just leave it at that, more than anything else. Too much of anything is a bad thing. And also be leery of something that's too, as my mother once told me as a child, anything that's too good to be true, just might be, So I'm not saying this as it definitely is, but at the same token, sometimes things can be so cheap that it may be malicious towards your health. And that could be detrimental. So maybe be leery, and sometimes, there's a difference between like affordable and cheap, and what is this like, who knows what's in it because it's so cheap, like that's when you got to be leery, and that's all I'm suggesting, So that's not a question. That's getting off the hands of what the original question was have you bought a bottle of wine from a gas station? That's a crazy feat when you can wake up in the 21st century and buy a bottle of, so to speak, Oliver wine or barefoot wine from a gas station. That's a crazy feat. That's a crazy day, and that's what the 21st century has to offer. And although I'm not living in L.A. or anything, I'm sure L.A. has some in some of the luxury hotel gas stations and gas stations in general, there might even be more offerings than the likes, depending on the affluence of your neighborhood and the likes. It's just a question I have for you. I really don't know. So asking more than commenting, So leave a comment below. Let me know what's on your mind. But again, I wanted to comment again, to retrack, to rephrase. I want to comment again on something that's been iterated earlier today in a podcast, impromptu improvision podcast. Just talking off the top of my head and thinking thoughts that like as they come, and that's sometimes the greatest gift and greatest sentiments. Sometimes the sentiments that are the truest, that will reign true, are just that, ones that are just not thought about too much. Too much thinking can be a bad thing. Sometimes you want to have some action, and forethought is excellent, and the likes. But sometimes you wanna just have some action too. As far as not overthinking it. Overthinking is good. Thinking is good. Overthinking can be bad. That's how I'll put it in the likes. But what it comes down to is just that. A podcast earlier I did today, Improvision, was just that. And I iterated in the podcast that, more millionaires have been made through real estate globally than any other investment option. So that's why it's good to, things they don't teach in the preliminary schooling, there should be a class on credit. There should be a class on, diversifying your motherfucking portfolio. There's some certain lessons that, aren't really taught, predominantly. And at the same token, they could benefit you over the long term. So it's good that we're getting onto a grasp of these concepts now. And headed forward, there's a lot of growth and development that can occur, and will occur, just given on historical fate and historical fact. There's so much potential out here, and it's getting easier and easier. I feel so spoiled as a millennial, a 26-year-old millennial. I feel more spoiled than ever, just in the fact that, this access to different asset classes has never been more readily accessible. You can literally get into some, even before you buy your first home, or even after you buy your first home, if you want to expand, like you have your home, or you either purchase cash or you paid a mortgage. And most people are predominantly, the predominant masses are going to have a mortgage until they pay it off, or until they see more success. And then they can pay off their mortgage or the likes. But what it comes down to is whether you have a mortgage, a house, or not. There's asset classes that once were widely sought after, but that were difficult to reach, such as real estate. Real estate was one of the most pricey asset classes there once was. As a home, you imagine it's going to cost. Hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, to say the least, so, or even on some scales, millions, so what it amounts to is that there's more readily accessible access to more asset classes than ever before. This is making investing a piece of cake, and over time, 20-year periods. And even faster than that, especially when you, as I've elaborated on in the past, fast money comes from business ownership. The truest sentiment is just that. If you want fast money, that's not gonna land you in jail. That's not gonna risk too much. At the same token, business ownership is that pathway, is that gateway to a better life, to the promised land. And that is running a successful business, and obviously most businesses are failing. Even the ones that are recruited by the VC firms, that's venture capitalist firms, actually fail. The majority. But with the venture capitalist firms, the minority that succeed, totally, pay for every business that fails, plus a lot more. Obviously, there's a lot of money in investing in businesses that with a high probability of success, or a higher probability of success. But obviously, there's lots of businesses being started that are actually failing. So I cannot, genuinely tell you that everything you do is going to turn to gold, and that can actually be a curse. Thinking, being so successful early in life can totally be almost like a gift and a curse. As in you're gifted because you're seeing so much success, you're seeing so much gold, you're seeing so much, successes. But at the same token, once you stop calculating your risks, risks have to be calculated, or it's not a really good, strong entrepreneurial move. So you don't want to get to the point. Sometimes I've seen I've seen and heard of it happening. People being so successful early in life that they think that everything they can touch turns to gold. That whole ordeal. When you stop calculating your risks, can easily you can lose everything in a jiffy. So that's why it's good to calculate your risks and realize, take everything with a grain of salt, and totally realize, this is a long-term game. And what that amounts to is just that, and that is, you want to be smart. You want to make smart decisions. You realize that you're not untouchable. You can be more touchable than most. You can be smarter than most. You can be more successful than most. But at the same token, you can't take anything for granted. And that's the only principle I want to get across, is just that you shouldn't take these things for granted. Success for granted. You got to earn this shit. You got to keep earning it, even after you get to the level. Well, there is a level, where it will be much harder to lose that leverage. But at the same token, have you not heard of the statistical fact about basketball players, NBA players making multi-millions, like $16 million a year for 5 years, and then totally going bankrupt or the likes? That's totally goes to depict that this stuff cannot be taken for granted. And financial literacy is more valuable than ever. And that's what I'm here to share. Financial literacy, and also just good decisions, and also just spawning intellectual conversation and the likes. Learning is key. Learning is pivotal. And after I get off this broadcast, I'm honestly going to probably read at least one chapter on a book. That's not to write home about, but it's just good to keep moving forward, and progress is progress, whether small, big, or the likes. And it also is very, very late at night right now. So, with more time ahead of you, you can do so much more. I've heard it elaborated on. I've heard it illustrated. I've heard it iterated. That Warren Buffett literally reads 8 hours a day. I don't know if this is like, some famous person dramatization, some ultra successful dramatization or emphasis or the likes, but reading 8 hours a day, and look at his success. Once the richest man in the world, could possibly become the richest man in the world again if he wants to, like if he makes some good choices again, but obviously he has nothing to complain about. And what it amounts to is just that he reads 8 hours a day, makes very few, I've heard one acquisition a year or something like that. Something small like that. You don't have to be all over the place. Sometimes it's good to be calm, collective, and make smart choices. And that's what's going to get you the biggest payoff. As he's illustrated in some of his speeches and the likes, that is Warren Buffett. He's illustrated, if a person was to have very, very few investment options, choices in their life, so they had to really think about their choices, they'd probably end up very, very rich, because, they would think about their choices much more than impulse buys, much more than impulse investments. And they would, in half the battle of making proper investments over long terms, and even shorter terms, is just that, thinking through the processes, doing the proper reading, research, and the likes to see if it's going to be a paying off investment. But it's really hard to lose out here over the long term. I really do believe that. Short terms can be rough and the likes, but you got to get yourself involved with this online market. Let's look at some of these businesses they're going out of business. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but the one that sticks out in my mind is just that Toys R Us was once a staple in the retail industry. 700 Toys R Us or something of the likes in America. or something like that. Something. Having success, a successful chain and the likes, going out of business, shutting all their stores. This is what I've last heard, and this is probably due to the fact that they couldn't monopolize and transition themselves into an online market. Like places like Amazon and the likes with online portals are just putting these businesses out of commission. So it's important you transition, and it's not like there's not options out here. There's options to even for the small time entrepreneurs to have your stuff warehoused and shipped out and the likes. For competitive pricing. So you can with good ideas and strong sentiments, strong ideas and strong even with less than massive amounts of leverage, you can still compete in this world. That's what's so good about this economic system that we're living in, is just that there's more opportunity than ever. For those that actually seek to be outliers, seek to distance themselves from the masses, because the masses are not reading books, they're not researching, they're not doing anything that's going to benefit them beyond this next 5 years. Living for the moment is good and all, and it's been emphasized. You want to just enjoy the day. That's what's always told to me. But at the same token, you don't want to just enjoy the day and just fuck your future self. And I apologize for cussing, but it's so true. Think about saying like fuck tomorrow. Think about the sentiment. Just think about the idea of that. Fuck tomorrow. I'm just gonna live for today. You're gonna be chances are you're not gonna pass away. If you're young and and you're not gonna you're not gonna be deceased over the next 5 years. And in 5 years, if you're saying fuck tomorrow, 10 years, over the next 10 years, 5 years, 5 or 10 years, you're 5 or 10 years from now, your future self is gonna be saying, "What the hell, man? Did you not love me? Did you not care about me? Did you not want me to prosper and be? Did you want me to be in this predicament?" So that's how I emphasize it. Is just that, saying fuck tomorrow is just the biggest baloney, shit you shouldn't be eating shit ever, man. Like it's so true. Saying fuck tomorrow and your 5 years from now self, 10 years from now self will just be like in a predicament that's just probably awful. And at the same token, you'll be kicking yourself. 10 years from now, you'll be kicking yourself, but you wanted to say live for the moment, and I think we should live for the moment and enjoy our days and optimize our days and get the most success out of each day we can. That's to be emphasized, and it's not all about money or the likes, but the same token, what it amounts to is just that, like. You want to think about tomorrow, because tomorrow, 5 years from now, is fucking coming. 10 years from now, it's fucking coming. And again, I don't mean to curse, but it's so to be emphasized, because, there's too many people making poor choices. So I hope, if you're thinking about making a poor choice, I hope you're following this podcast, following this vlog, following this webcast, and realizing that, I'm telling you the damn truth, man. There's too many people fucking lying to you, man. Setting piss poor examples, piss poor role models, piss poor, mentors that aren't really mentors, because they're not really fucking helping you, man. So you need to find yourself some real good mentors, whether it's me at a distance, whether it's these other characters out here that are making plays and willing to share the blueprint of how to monopolize and succeed in today's 21st fucking century. It's to be emphasized in the likes that there's online portals and the likes that need to be taken advantage of, and I'm in the process of doing it. It's a slow coming process, but once the ball gets rolling, sometimes patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. And am I being patient? I am being patient. I got to earn my motherfucking keep. And that's the thing about, this level of earning your keep. When someone didn't necessarily demonstrate it to you right away, and you've wasted tons of money just figuring things out for yourself. Wastage is a terrible feat. Wastage is a terrible thing. a fucking disgrace if you ask me. But at this point, I'm getting more concise, and I'm getting more level headed, and I'm getting more calculated, and I'm getting information from my mentors just on the fact that there's more opportunity than ever online. In both the digital realm of computing things, building things digitally, and also in the fact that there is facets, there is enterprises that you can operate with and inside their confines, and in other businesses, third-party agencies that you can operate with to successfully succeed once you create demand, or once demand is seen and is attacked. You attach yourself to someone with demand, and the likes. So that's the best advice I can give you, and I can't even say too much more, man, because I'm still in the process. So I'm trying to help you as much as I can. At the same token, just realize that you got to think about tomorrow, because tomorrow is coming. And the same token, what it also amounts to is just that, and that is good things to come for all those who hustle. That means work hard. And it's not all about working hard, because there's plenty of people working hard right this instance that aren't making much progress in their lives. And that's not all it's about. I think you should work hard. I admire people that work hard, But at the same token, that shouldn't be the end game. The sum game, What it amounts to is just that you want to work hard to make moves and make plays and build that capital base, that capital seed capital, so you can make these plays digitally. Or in brick and mortar. Building the right relationships to have that ability to have the demand to succeed in the brick and mortar, if that's what you want. But brick and mortar is almost going extinct, so that's not what I'm necessarily advising. But there is lots of times when people will choose brick and mortar over the contrarian opposite, which is the online portal. So at the same token, we're going way in depth onto some of these subjects, and at the same token, I'm just trying to skim the top, just to give you a picture that your future could be bright. If you follow this podcast, like up here, like down here, share, throw some hearts, as we learn to first take care of ourselves, then show the blueprint for how we achieved everything we've achieved, So that's what it's about. And at the same token, there's a lot of people lying to you that are giving you piss poor advice. And I hope you have at least the brain sense, the common sense to really think about everything I say, think about everything they say, and computate yourself whether or not this is solid advice, whether their advice is solid. And sometimes, especially if you're very youthful and young, you won't be able to decipher between what's good advice and bad advice, and that's going to cause you a ton of heartache. So again, follow this podcast, follow this vlog, follow this webcast, and just realize it's just me right here in front of you, breaking down the general truths of life that have taken me years of mentorship that I've just now received, and years of study and trial and error and the likes. To accomplish and to learn and to craft and cultivate. And I'm sharing that with you in 20-minute intervals, in 45-minute intervals through webcasts, blogs, and podcasts. You are the luckiest motherfucker alive, man. Just see, and I plan to share more in-depth information with you. More pivotal clues to how you can do this thing, but in at the same token, I'm in the process of making plays myself. So as Machiavelli has iterated, no enterprise is more likely to succeed than one concealed from the enemy until it's ripe for execution. And at this point, everybody's your, you can't know who's your enemy and not your enemy. Friends become enemies. Sometimes the most devastating blow will be constructed by someone that's supposedly your friend, because you let them into your inner circle, into your inner thoughts, into your inner life, into your private domain, and that gives you the most access to destroy. seek and destroy. So be very, very careful and build strong relationships with people that are like-minded. Stay involved with people that are like-minded and the likes. You can have all the money in the world, but if you have piss poor relationships, it won't last very long. And just like that, if you have all the money in the world and you have piss poor health, you won't be able to enjoy your wealth too long. And if you and contrarian, the opposite. So for what it's worth, we'll talk very, very soon. I want you to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow. That's at Gabriel R. Griffin. For consultation, follow at Majesty Marketing Group. That's GRP on Instagram. And just realize we're getting 100 times better. GabrielGriffin.com has got the social media links and the likes. And, just getting 100 times more talented, 100 times smarter, and 100 times better mentored, and spreading that knowledge, to the youth. I hope you're 13 years old right now listening to this, and I'm going to change your fucking life. I can shape you into something that's such a monster, and not in the negative connotations of the word, but literally it's in the fact that, knowledge is power. Knowledge is critical. It's not random information. This is just the shit that you wish someone taught you when, I was blessed to have some of the best teachers, around, as far as literacy and as far as cultivating a mind that can think for itself. And that's why I'm so blessed to have had the teachers I had, through preliminary school and the likes, but still, nonetheless, most people are totally being failed by this education system, because even if you think for yourself, if you're not directed into the right, it's really up to the parents. It's not up to the teachers. So I can't put that much pressure on them, But no one, the people you love, you're supposed to shape them into the person they're supposed to be, and also you're supposed to give them the tools, and knowledge base to get their own unlimited resources. So that's what's very, very valuable, and that's what's very, very cool. So we'll talk very, very soon. Again, thank you. And one last sentiment I'm going to leave you with. Oh my gosh, and this is random, and this is almost superficial. But, man, I love a good haircut, man. And I haven't had a haircut in, literally, this is mind fucking boggling. Bam. Blew my fucking mind. It's mind fucking boggling that I haven't had a haircut in literally, 3 months, man. I swear, my hair grows so slow, but, but it's, it doesn't go that slow, but maybe it's been 2 months. I don't know, man. Either way, it's too fucking long. And when I get a haircut, I'm going to be back, and I'm going to be ready to service your needs, as in consultation and, just spreading blueprints and the likes to help you grow, and develop overall, and I hope you're 13. But even if you're 65 years old, and you've made some piss poor choices and no one told you what I'm telling you right this fucking instance, and that I'll share with you once I develop my own courses and the likes, as I grow and develop, first I got to grow and develop myself and my companies and the likes. But, I'm going to develop some courses and the likes because I do not want to leave, just like the school system once said, leave no kid behind, leave no boy behind. Or just as the military says, the likes, leave no man behind, leave no boy behind. That's the same sentiment I take with my educational courses and the likes. And that is, if you want to seek a better life, if you want to seek enlightenment, if you want to seek education and the fucking truth, understanding this fucking money game, which is a big, big component to success and the likes, because the rest of this shit is just fucking fugazi as fuck, man. It's not helping you do shit. What is that fucking... Oh, I'm not even going to go there, man, but some of these courses are just the biggest bullshitting the fuck out of you, man. And I'm just here to throw the curve, break the mold, and I want you to sign up for my email list. Shoot me an email at gabrielgriffin.com. I'll add you to my email list. And as I write my ebook and as I, develop these courses and the likes and get them set up so you can enroll, just get ready for the likes because, I want to help you grow. And I'm not looking for everybody because everybody's not fucking ready for this shit. They just want to keep keeping on and keep complaining and shit, they want to keep complaining about, how hard it is and the likes when, just like anybody. My mentors, I have 2 mentors. Both my mentors were not born rich and they have, and they're millionaires today. So that goes to show the power of, America, and the power of global economics and world competitive economics and the likes. And that just is the position I'm shaping myself into, and the likes. And it's you can't keep complaining about your predicament, because there's been plenty of people, there's been plenty of people that were down on their luck, hardship, but chose education, that chose enlightenment, that chose searching for a better life and the likes. And that's what got them the better life and the likes, So, the same person that's, and if you follow my courses in the likes, so shoot me an email, I'll add you to my email list, and just type me an email, and I'll see it in the likes. Gabriel at GabrielGriffin.com. And just realize that, there's been plenty of people that's faced hardship. But they didn't complain. They faced reality and got to the general gist of it, and just worked hard, but not hard. Smart. You work hard until you can just work smart. And once you work smart, you'll be realizing, like, damn, I was working that hard and I wasn't making shit. I wasn't doing shit, and then now I don't even have to work hard. All I do is work 3 hours a day, and read the rest. And I'm fucking, making 10x, 100x, what you were. So that's the mission, and that's what my goal is, to help you succeed in likes. And I don't want to be too greedy with these sentiments, but at the same token, you're gonna have to break a little bread for me to share this enlightenment, because it took me years of rough days, in the likes, So I'm sharing a lot for complimentary, though. So if you're sharp enough, to soak the game from what I'm telling you now, then just run with this. Just follow my page and run with the sentiments I share. And that's cool too, man. Whatever you want to do, man. So if you want the information expedited, then totally shoot me an email. I'll add you to my email list. Get you my ebook for complimentary, and you can sign up for my courses when they come out. So my lectures. And, with some of the most pivotal step-by-step procedures to how to get into this online portal, an online marketplace, and again, emphasizing that the need to keep learning, and the likes. So the last quote I'll leave you with is just that, not one of my own, although GabrielGriffin.com/quotes does have some pretty good quotes by your boy, by myself. What it amounts to is just that, and that is a quote by Warren Buffett. And I think this is a wise way to leave you tonight on this wonderful evening, this early morning. That just is, we only learn from mistakes, but not all those mistakes have to be your motherfucking own. And I kind of, that's not verbatim. I added the motherfucking, but it's very, very true. Not all those mistakes have to be your own. So learn from others. Get yourself a mentor, if that's me or if someone else. And I promise I can shape you into something, into a monster, man, so as I shape myself into a monster, and I know you got the talent, so, just take my course and, shoot me your email, and I'll get you my ebook, and we can talk at this philosophical talk and get you to a whole new level, and if you want consultation, majestymarketinggroup.com. I can get you consultation specific to your situation and the likes. And just have some of the solidest advice. And this is minuscule. My rates are minuscule compared to how much money I'm going to save you, how much money I'll make you, just with you listening and heeding my advice. As far as shit that's taken me 26 fucking years to cultivate, plus being ahead of the curve, plus just now getting to the point that I'm reading every day and the likes. And that's what success is all about. Learning. So learning is key. Knowledge is pivotal. Education is critical, both formally and informally. But this day and age is things are changing. Education is going to get to the point where, sometimes the more affluent people are going to be the ones that weren't even formally educated. Or that were formally educated, but took it to a whole new extent with informal education. So both. The best of both worlds. So I think that's what my best advice is, free of the house, is just getting the best of both worlds. So we'll talk very, very soon. Oh my gosh, my tongue is getting twisted. My words are getting tied. But for what it's worth, like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, and we'll talk very, very soon. Thank you for bearing in, and we'll talk very, very soon. Okay, peace.